Hello guys, how you doing? So this is gonna be like a little bit of an overview of what your Algebra 1 test, final test is gonna look like. It's gonna be something like this. On the first part, you're gonna choose the graph that best represent a situation, and we have done something very similar to this one. You have three different situations. Those three situations are for those three graphics right there. And you're just going to see the relation of that graphic and the situation in which graph goes with what situation. And again, you're going to do the exact same thing for those three exercises. On the second part, you're going to give me the domain and the range of each relationship. And again, I'm going to give you some relationships here, some relations. And you're going to tell me what is going to be the domain and which one is going to be the range. You're going to look for the perfect combination. Remember that your domain is in your axis. That is everything that's going inside, in, and everything that is going outside is your y. Therefore, that is your range. You can also use the graphics for it. Then you're going to identify the following as a function or not a function. And again, you're going to see the relations in that table. If you have one input to each output, you know what that is. If you have one output with more than one input, you know what that is. And again, here you can do your vertical line test to see if it's a function or not a function. In your fourth part, you're going to evaluate each function for the given inputs. Again, I gave you two inputs. And you're just going to solve for that function right there. And tell me which one is going to be the correct output for all your functions there. In your fifth part, you're going to have a graph. You're going to look at your graph and you're going to tell me which of those functions is going to be the one that is going to be paired to that graph. And again, my recommendation here is that you locate some of the points on your graph, maybe make a little bit of a table there, and look for if your x is a number, maybe 0, maybe 1, maybe 2, it all depends which one you want to take. You're going to look for your input and for your output. So if your input is 0, what is going to be your output? And again, if your x is 0, your y is your output. So when you plot your points on your coordinate plane, you can see which point is your x and what coordinate is your x and which one is your y. On the sixth part right there, again, you're going to choose your scatter plot that best describe each relationship, and then you're going to tell me the correlation. So you have it here very nicely divided. You have three graphs, and you have three situations. Which situation goes with each graph? Then it says the correlation on graph A is what type of correlation do you see there? What correlation do you see on graph B? And what correlation do you see on graph C? Once you finish, you're going to go to your Google form. You have here a hyperlink that will automatically open your Google form. This is your algebra final test function. You're going to write your email. Remember to put a correct email. Here you have a little note that it says at the end of this Google form, you must upload your procedures. The format acceptable is on PDF or any type of image. Failure to show your work will automatically be grounds for failure of that exercise and therefore for the test. So again, if you have a test, you know here you only have to observe, so you cannot make a lot of you cannot really make a lot of procedures, but here you can. And here you can definitely. And that will be it. Yeah. Those will be the places that you will show me your procedure. If you can show me your work in any other part, you can also do that. But those are the ones that I need you to do procedure for. Write your email, verify that your email is correctly inserted there because I have received some emails back saying that that email is not correct. Your name, your last name, and your grade. Then you're going to go next and you're going to see all the parts of the exam. At the last part of the exam, you're going to upload pictures or your PDF of that exam with all your answers and all your procedures and all your work. If you do not have enough space on this exam to do all your procedures, just look for a blank page, or maybe you can do this on your math notebook and just write all your procedures there, do all your work there, and just take pictures of it and upload it. If you're still having troubles uploading it, you can also send it to my email. But again, I do prefer that you upload it through the Google form. Therefore, it will be easier for me to save it. So let's check out how can you access that information. So you can go to College One to LMS and you will see your PDF, you will see your Google Form link, and maybe you will see also the link for this video that I'm making right now. That as soon as I finish it, I'm gonna update that information that is in LMS and in Google Classroom, so you will have it. So you can also go to your Google Classroom, 8th grade algebra, go to classwork. Under classwork, you go to the unit 3, that is the unit that we are on. Go to final test. Go to view material. And you will have here everything that you need to know. You have your topic. This is our final test, functions. The due date is December 8th. You have the whole day to make this. That means that on December 9th, I am not going to be receiving any more final tests, okay? That will be the last day that I will receive tests. Is going to be at the end of the day of December 8th. And you know that I do not like to receive tests late at night. I do think people make them a little bit too rush. So please try to find the time to actually answer it. You're going to answer your test PDF. That means the PDF that I'm sending you with all your procedures. Then you're going to answer the following Google form. That is your Google form. At the end of your Google form, you're going to upload your quiz to that Google form and you will receive a confirmation on your email as soon as you press submit of your quiz. So please check out your email to see if you received that confirmation. That confirmation should tell you your grade, your actual grade. What you had good and which ones did you didn't. Because this is an automatic, it's going to be corregido, it's going to be checked automatically. If you're still having troubles, you can always send it to my email. And here you're going to have your Google form. Sorry. So you can just check and see you're going to have your PDF there that you can print and answer it. You're going to have your Google form that is going to automatically open. You can also find your Google form again in your PDF at the end. You have a hyperlink link that if you press it, it will also resend you to that Google form. Now let's do some exercises that it may help you out doing that test. So we have already done the review for the algebra test. So let's just go through it, okay? Let me see if I find it here. Here we go. So the first one says choose the graph that best describes each situation. And again, you're going to look for a graph. The first one says a tomato plant that grows taller at a steady pace which graph is going to be that one. Let me search for your test right here. Which one is going to be that one? A tomato plant that grows quickly at first. So you're going to see it rise very quickly. Then it remains constant during a dry spell and then grows at a steady pace. Which graph is that one? And a tomato plant that grows slow paced and then rapidly grows with more sun and water. Which one of those graphs is that one? On your second part, it says find the relations, right? In that relation, you're going to find your domain and your range. And again, what if I give you some plots? For example, 0, 1, 1, 2. Let's say you just have those two. So you know that your domain is going to be the X ones, right? And your range is going to be your Y's. Therefore, if I'm asking you for your domain, I'm just going to do the D for domain because I don't want to write it down with my mouse. It's very difficult to use the mouse. So my domain will be 0 and 1. And for my range, I'm just going to write the R as range. Again, it's difficult for me to write with my mouse, with my computer mouse. It's going to be everything that is my Y, right? So I have 1 and 2. That's going to be my range. And that's it. That is how I find my range in that type of relation. If I have a graph, and let's say that graph starts here and ends here, and what is here? Well, let's say that is a 2, and this is a 2. So I know that my plot number here is going to be 2 and 2. And let's say that this is a 1, and this is a 1. So I know the plot number right there is going to be 1 and 1. Sorry, 1 and 1. Therefore, I know that my domain, in this case, my domain is going to be everything that is in X, right? That's going to be the 1 and the 2. 1 and 2. And my range, again, is everything that is in Y, again here, 1 and 2. It's going to be my domain, that's going to be my range. That's all to it. On the third part says, let me see, it says evaluate it, sorry, if it's a function or if it's not a function. Tell me if it's a function or not a function. So again, if you have a graph, let's say that this is your coordinate plane, all you have to do is the vertical test. And if it touches one time every time you do the vertical test, it is a function. Touch one time your graph, one time your graph, one time your graph. Therefore, that's a function. If it looks something more like this, and you're going to do your vertical test, here touch your graph once, and then touch your graph again. Because it touched your graph 2 times, it's not a function. On your next part says, let me look for your test. I have it around here somewhere. Here it is. On your fourth part says evaluate each function for the given values. So I'm going to give you a function fx. Sorry, I'm going to write it. So I'm going to give you a function fx. And this is just an example. equals 1 plus x. And then I'm going to tell you find the function f(x) when x equals 0 and when x equals 1. This is just an example, okay? So all I have to do is just substitute my x in my function. So when my function, when my input is 0, then my function is 1 plus 0, and that's going to be 1. So that means that when my input is 0, my answer is going to be 1. What is going to happen? So I did this one. This one is, sorry. So this is the one that I did. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but with my other point, with my other input. So what's going to happen when my input is 1 instead of 0? I'm just going to do my function, but this time it's going to be 1. So I'm just going to substitute that x in my original function with the number 1. I'm going to have 1 plus 1, that's equals 2. And again, this is just an example. Therefore, my function, when my input is 1, my output is going to be the number 2. That's all to it. Pretty simple, right? On your next part says determine the graph for each situation. So for example, if you have a graph that looks sort of like this, I'm trying. Again, I'm trying my best. And let's say it touches one time there. Know that is 0 and 0. Well, I already know that if it has that U shape, I know that it's gonna be to the second something to the second power, right? So I know that when it's 0 to the second power, that's gonna be 0. When it's 1 to second power, that is gonna be 1. When it's 2, what do you think is gonna be my output when it's 2, my input? 2 times 2 is 4. Very good. So you can see that that graph is the same thing as this function right there. So when my function is x to the second power, it's going to look like something like that. So you have to do is look for what graph goes with what function. And at the end of your test, you have one more part. It says choose the scatter plot that best describe each situation. You have 3 different situations. And again, if you have a graph, and I'm going to try my very best, my very, very best to do this, to do some points there. Let's see if I can, if it looks, let's say that you have a few scatter plots, right? I don't know if you can see them. You can't see them. Well, at least I cannot see them. Let me find something else. So let's say I have some scatter plots that are going in the upwards direction. What type of correlation would that one be? Positive, negative, or no correlation? Well, if it's going up, if from the first one to the last one is going up, that is going to be a positive correlation. If it's going down, it's going to be a negative correlation. If you have a bunch of points that you don't know which one is going up and which one is going down, that means it has no correlation. And that's all you really have to do. Once you have finished your test, just send it to just answer the Google form, send pictures of your work, show me that you are the one that is doing that work, and upload it to the Google form and send it to me. Now, for those that are in A2, I will see you on Friday. We will have our last get together, so please be there. Let's have some fun. Let's do some trivia. Let's do some Christmas trivia. Let's do something. So let's do that get together. For all my other eighth graders, I'm gonna miss you so much, and I will see you next semester. Congratulations, you did it. I wishing you the best of luck in all your tests, and I'll see you soon. Bye.